Okay, so the first Stylized Environment Competition has completed, and in this video I will review all the submissions, and at the end of it we will have our winners. Also, fair warning, I probably mispronounced a lot of the users' names, so forgive me. Without further ado, let's begin. So remember, the theme for this competition was Cozy Corner, so I'll be judging according to that as well, not just textures and lighting, but also the theme. Right, first up we have Tunchi Yu. Sorry if I mispronounced that. I think it looks pretty nice. I like the vines by the window, and the lighting is pretty good. The only question I have is, why is there like a prisoner's chain ball thing here? So at one side it's cozy, and one side it's dark and horror. Overall it's pretty good. I love the brick texture. You get a B. Alright, next one. We have Manoj YT. Sorry if I mispronounced that. But this is his render, and I think it's also pretty good. The one thing I will notice is that the bed, its geometry is a bit weird. It kind of distracts one from the render a little bit. But I like the wood textures and the sky outside, and the One Piece reference is pretty good. But overall, I think it lacks a little bit of ambience. I think the walls could have some maybe posters over here, or maybe there could be some more texture on the wall. But other than that, I like the scene. It looks kind of comfy. I would place this one also on the B. Next, we have Uncaged Seraphine. Again, the name, sorry. This was the render, and I think it does look kind of cozy. It would be a nice place to sit in the sunset, as it apparently is, nice and orange. But that's one thing I would probably change a little bit. I think there's a bit too much orange in the scene. But it does look kind of cozy. There's a nice piece of cake here, some coffee. It's a nice something to have with book, as you can see. The person's probably reading and probably went to the toilet. And there's a cat, so extra 2 points for that. But I think what could have been done is maybe the lights could bloom, so as that could add a little bit more interest to the scene. And I think some of the textures could use a little bit of work. But other than that, it's pretty good, I think. You get a B. Now we have Ramadnia. Sorry again for the name. This is the render, and it is beautiful. I love how cute this cat looks. Very good. Very beautiful cat. And I like the simplicity as well. So it looks like they were going for a more cel-shaded look, which is respectable. And the lighting also is not bad. One thing that I would probably say again is maybe some light coming from this light source. I'm not sure if it's on, but if it was meant to be on, then I think light would be coming from here, lighting at the scene a little bit more. And maybe I think under the bed it could be a bit darker, under the table maybe a bit darker, and maybe some shadow interactions between the objects would be a bit nice. But I think it looks pretty good for what it is. It's very well done, and I think it's cute. I'll put an A, the first A one, very good. Next we have Ive. This is Ive's render. A few things I notice. I see there is a little bit of coziness within the scene, but something that is throwing it off is the sizing of the objects. As you can see, the chair over here, it's kind of normal with the lamp and the books same size, but then when you look on this side, everything is humongous. So like the world over here, the clock, the books, the plant pots, and all these other books over here. The scene doesn't seem to be properly scaled, but overall it is not that bad. But I think the scaling and the textures could use some work. You get a B. Next up we have Denji Zenin. I'm sorry, name. But I love this render. It's very good. I think the colors and the light worked very well in the scene, as well as the textures. I love it. It's beautiful. One thing I would like to just point out is, I think, I'm not sure, but these shelves seem to be shaded smooth on the flat surfaces of the front-facing faces. That's why there's some weird smears of the light going onto this model. I could be totally wrong, but that's what it seems to be. I think maybe a bit more shadow or ambient occlusion could be on this board, or interaction between the pages. But other than that, I love how this one looks. Probably will be our first S. Very good, very well done. It's beautiful. That takes us to the next render, Lukman Hayyan. Hope I said that right. This render I also think is pretty good. The lived-in feel of it is beautiful, and I think it's nice and cozy. I like how guys 2 laptops, or he has someone else with him that also has a laptop, and they're both eating cheese. But so beautiful, well done, and it is pretty cozy. He has a nice spacious living area. That would be our next S rank, and I think I will rank this a little bit higher. Our next one is made by Crikey. It is pretty good, I think. I think the textures are very well done, especially the floor. I love how the floor looks. Overall, I think the color scheme is very good. I think the space over here is pretty cozy, and the textures I also think are pretty good. One thing I would like to say is maybe the lighting could have been made a bit more interesting, so maybe a bit more glow around the globe, and maybe some rays of light coming through the window, shining on the floor or the wall. Other than that, I think it is a good render. This I will put on the tippity top of A. Next up we have Ace in the Bag. Ace in the Bag. This is a beautiful render. It looks delicious. I would like to bite this bed. It looks like it's made of fondant and cake. And the lighting is pretty good. The textures are wonderful. It gives cozy vibes. It looks delicious. And I also love your keyboard. Very good keyboard. This would definitely go on S. Next up, we have Steve Van Koos. Sorry about the name again. I see, the lighting is very interesting. I like the candle lighting against the wall. I think it looks nice. Overall, it does look pretty cozy. I think the wall could use a little bit more texture and some more interaction with the other models, because it doesn't seem to be a lot of shadow to the walls. Maybe around these models there could be a little bit more shadow to add a little bit more depth to the scene. So this is definitely going to go up here on the A tier. Next up we have Sonic. First off, it does look pretty cozy. Overall it's good. One thing I would like to mention is while the walls do have shadow, I see the floor doesn't have any at all. I think that makes the scene a little bit less appealing because it doesn't meld together with the other objects of the scene that has shadow. And I think the highlights on your objects could be a little less, and it could be a more solid lines, maybe a few interruptions in between the lines, but other than that I think it looks pretty comfy. Also, hey, who's that? I'd put this at B. And now we have Kazna. A very well done scene. I think your use of highlights and lighting is very well done, and your wood textures are very... My one gripe with the scene, I think it's a bit too hazy. I think your bloom threshold could be set a little bit higher. Besides that, ignoring the haze, I think it's very well textured, beautiful, well done. This is definitely an S tier. I think the coziness is just below the other two, so I will put it just behind these two. And one of our last renders is from the user Clean. This is his render. It's simple, but I think it gets the job done. This style is very nice. If this was in a game and the characters were very low poly, I think it would fit a lot. It's very good. There is a little bit of shadow under your objects, which is nice. And I see the window does cast a nice light onto your objects, which is also pretty nice. One thing I would say is there does seem to be wind coming through. I think it's from the fan, but if it was coming from the fan, then I don't understand why the blanket is flying up like this. I think the blanket will be flowing more this way, and maybe this will be flying up, not this part. But that's just a technical thing from me, nothing actually problematic. Other than that, it's nice and cozy, and the textures aren't that bad. I would put this right here by the other cozy cat one. Next up is Sir Zet, and obviously the first thing I'm going to look at is this beautiful, adorable dinosaur. Very cozy. He makes the entire scene 10 times cozier. And the scene itself is... Wait a second! This is... I actually never noticed this. I wonder whose YouTube channel this is. Anyways, I love how the outside looks. It's beautiful. It's nice and minimalistic, but it gets the job well done. And I love this lamp. It's a beautiful lamp. I think this scene does look kind of comfy. It could use a little bit more atmosphere, I think. Maybe some lighting at the edge of this chair. So maybe you put an area light to add a bit more highlight here to make it really burn with light. And I think this could glitter a little bit more, the table. But overall, it's nice and comfy. And lovely little dinosaur. You go into A tier, between cat and minimalistic cozy corner. Next up we have a render by Mehtab. Again, hope I pronounced that properly. What I would like to say is I like this render. I think it's pretty comfortable. I love the wood texture at the bottom. It's very vibrant, very well done. The shadow at the bottom, very nice. I like the shadow. I like dark and bright contrasting colors. So, as you can see, dark here and very bright here. Very good. And the headboard, also very nice. And I like that you use the render from one of my animations. Thank you. Also, nice. That goes straight into A, just below cat, I think. And last but not least, we have this one. It was submitted by Funny Dude. I think it's nice and simple. The window's nice. I love the sheen you have there. All the textures are pretty good, and the models as well. But what I think it could use is a bit more furniture. So maybe a shelf under the windowsill, and maybe another chair by the table, or something like that. It's kind of cozy, but not as cozy as some of the others. But I think it's pretty well done. B. And that concludes our review. So, time for results. Obviously, I'm not the only judge. Comfy Mug and Sumi chose their own winners. So, time to consult with them and see who the winners are. Alright, so the winners have been announced, and they are as follows. Kazna, for the first place winner, your render was very well done, and the judges agreed on you being the first place winner. Second place is Lukman Hayyan. You also did pretty well. Your scene was pretty cozy, and overall I think it was good. Third place for the public vote win was Sue Sonic. You were voted through the public winners, and congratulations for your victory. All of these winners and all the other participants, I would like to extend a very, very warm thank you for participating in this competition of ours. It is the first of many, inshallah, and I hope you enjoyed and learnt a bunch of things. The prizes were chosen by the victors from these renders as well as these asset packs, and Comfy Mug himself also contributed 2 prizes for the winners to choose from, so I hope they enjoy them and find a lot of benefit within them. That was it for me, and hope you enjoyed this small video. See you in the next tutorial, and see you in the next competition as well. Alright, bye.